more. Because the reality is, wealth I don't think is unlimited. And I think those of us who have it have a very strong call from God to take care of those around us. I think, as Spider-Man says, with great power comes great responsibility. I think the blind man's life could have changed for decades, but it didn't, because a community would rather walk by and then celebrate when the Savior gives him sight. But then in Zacchaeus' case, right, we've all seen how the community reacts there. We talked about this last week some, when God helps people that we don't really want God to help, right? Come on now. We're all jealous people in this room. You have felt jealousy before. When's the last time someone's life took a turn for the better and you're like, ugh, I'm so happy for them, but I'm also so angry, right? It's like, I know when you're in your 20s, because I've talked to plenty of my female friends, when like all the girlfriends are all getting engaged. Right, Emily? But now we got that ring, so life is better. Good job, JB. Or when everybody's having the babies. We just went through that as a family. Oh, man. Reagan, all her friends were on kid number 3 or 4. She was so happy for them, so happy for you. Sometimes we don't want to see God work in other people's lives because of jealousy, because of anger, because of past hurts, because of whatever. But the reality is, when God works in people's lives, when people's lives are being touched by God, we are not just asked to, we are called to celebrate that. Even when we have prayers that are unanswered, even when we have pains in our own lives, even when we keep waiting for God to show up. If we're going to be a people who withhold our celebration until God comes and touches my life, my goodness, that's going to be a long, long, quiet life that we lead. Because all of us go through times of celebration and times of mourning, and our job as the people of God is to celebrate that and to mourn with them, to celebrate with people who God's lives are touching, to mourn with those who are going through difficult times. And so the crowd in both these stories, I think, gets it wrong. And I think we get it wrong all the time. I think the crowd in the blind man story, they ignore their call to be the miracle. And I think the crowd in Zacchaeus' story ignore their call to be a people who celebrate when God is at work, regardless of whose life it may be, even if it's someone you think is your enemy. When have we prayed for God to help people when we were perfectly capable of being God's hands and feet ourselves, right?